And we are back to our third game. I gotta say, for Infused Esports, they held on strong, but again, AEX, a team that we cannot underestimate, and one of the ex-champions from the 2016. It's not a surprise that they were quick to adapt and change their strategy.
Yeah, I mean, man, they really rallied yung game 2 na yun. I was actually surprised that they definitely showed that they still really want to keep the dream alive as far as making it to the playoffs. Kasi dahil nga last 2 weeks na tayo, this being the second to the last, all teams are definitely gonna be trying to make the most of it. Especially since, especially yung mga nasa baba. Kasi very crucial yung position nila ngayon. As far as that line between potential relegation versus potential qualification for playoffs.
I have to say, for both teams, they really fought till their last turret, the last Nexus hit, not giving them any type of lead, trying their best to hold on. And you saw in game 2 how the gold lead was not that far behind despite the kill score. But now, guys, this is going to be the last game before we move on to match 2, which would be Mineski versus Naga Esports. But now the question is, who will take away that one more point to make it, or at least try their standings to make it a bit better? At least make the dream and hope alive that they can make it to the playoff stage.
Yeah, very, very crucial for both teams right now. So nakikita nga natin sa standings, 1-1. And for both sides as well, mukhang wala tayong makikitang substitutes. Whatever rosters that they stuck with for both Game 1 and Game 2, yan pa rin ang makikita natin going into Game 3. But okay, so actually just got word that for this third game, we won't be seeing a kill for the support role. It'll actually be Sachi that'll be fielded. So, tingnan natin kung maiba yung dynamic ng Infused to potentially pull this into a 2-1.
I'm curious because remember when we were moving on to our first game, Sachi, there was the interview. He realized his mistakes. He realized the team's mistakes, what they lack, what they need to improve. And I want to see that coming into this third game, because when it comes to growth, it doesn't matter how good you start. In the end, whoever grows the most wins actually in the end, because despite making, let's say you make it to the playoff stage but you don't have enough growth, I think that in a way is not a real victory. And I would really want to see PGS teams like Infuse, RCX Esports, Naga Esports really standing up, and we're seeing it right now. And I just love how every week, we always say it, it's a really, really competitive format as of now.
I actually have to agree with you there. And speaking of growth kasi, I guess not particularly for the top teams kasi it's more of consistency para sa mga nasa taas. Para naman sa nasa baba, gaya nga ng sabi mo, it's more of going through the split with improvement. Sometimes you don't necessarily have to start off as the strongest team. Pwede ikaw pa nga yung nasa pinakababa. Ang importante, andun yung consistency in growth, and with that growth, hopefully din nandun din yung pag-angat. So it's more of that, trying to make that climb up to at least make it to the playoffs, climb your way from the bottom, not necessarily to the top. If you could pull that up, sure, that would be great. And I think one of the teams that does kind of exemplify that right now is TNC. They were constantly at the bottom 4. Ngayon, they're at the tippity top, second only to Mineski. So as you can see in the standings, gaya nga ng sabi ko, Mineski, TNC, TME, IPT are looking pretty good right now.
I have to say, knowing that this is going to be the 6th week, next week will be the last week, it's really tough to see who will make it to the playoffs when it comes to the bottom 2, because the standings right now, the 2-0 sweep, giving them 3 points is outside the window, and they can only get at least, I would say, 5 points at max. But when it comes to, yes, as you said, for TNC Pro Team, a new and improved TNC Pro Team entering this split. What a great split this team is having. I love the improvement. I love the changes to the roster. And I love how they could bring in more competition.
And I think with these standings, it's a very clear indication right now na as far as these teams at the bottom, itong dalawa, you can't also necessarily say that teams like RCX Esports or Naga Esports are safe as well. Because in order for them to at least have that security of making it to the playoffs, they need to pull off, at least if my math is correct, at least a win. Just so that they could reach that point na hindi na sila mahahabol ng nasa bottom 2 natin ngayon. But if they can't pull that off, and if Infuse Esports and Acclaim Empire X, whichever team, lands that win today, and if they have a stellar performance going to the last week of the PGS before playoffs, then I think andun yung chance. So it just goes to show that we're playing with a scenario na even though a team na nasa bottom mag-perform sila, they also need to kind of rely on the performance of the other teams that are above them.
Let's in a short, you're like begging, oh
Yeah.
come on, let us have a chance. And yan ang gusto ko sa PGS. Like, it's not that some teams can really hope for the worst for the other teams, but also you gotta look in yourself in the mirror and ask, do I want to stay as the way I am, or do I just want to improve and show to the viewers out there that I am considered the top 8 teams in the Philippines? And a short recap of what happened. Newsflash: Vietnam will have their own competitive region, and they will not be anymore included in the GPL. What does that mean for the Philippines? We have a shot. We have a good shot going into the MSI mid-season invitational. And I gotta say, the chances for us with the teams right now, with the skill level, I'm pretty sure that we can try and make it.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance. And gaya nga ng sinasabi natin, with how the teams have been performing in the PGS right now, nakikita talaga natin yung step up ng lahat ng pretty much all these 8 teams right here. Kumbaga, kung ano yung performances ng fast splits. I think that's kind of why AEX is in an awkward position right now na nasa baba sila. It's not necessarily because they deteriorated. You also have to give credit to the rest of the teams na talagang nag-step up ngayon na kung ano yung skill level mo splits fast, it just doesn't cut it anymore going into 2018.
This is actually can be shown. It's evident in the standings. Note that the reason why TNC Pro Team have been skyrocketing themselves in the standings, great split, is because of what? The new and improved roster. And if you look into the rosters of the top 8 teams, the 8 teams in the PGS, you can see that for AEX, they did have a shake-up in roster. It's been a while since they've lost, let's say, Endless Ace, Calculated, and also for IPT, they have still the same roster. And when it comes to other teams, let's say Team Manila Eagles, the champions, the defending champions, who had a shake-up in roster last year, is still performing well. I think when it comes to bringing new players, bringing new competition, especially Mineski, bringing in 2 imports, I just love what they've done. And I think it's a treat for all of us, even to the players that, hey, I can actually have more experience fighting with 2 imports.
And it's interesting that you brought up the imports kasi from what we've been seeing on social media recently, andun yung polarity na some people, they're not as happy about the imports. Some, of course, welcome them with open arms because it does improve the competition as far as our local scene here. I'm personally all for whatever advantage you can take. And it's such a nice step up from Mineski. And it's funny that we bring this up because in a way, you could kind of look at it on a micro level as to, let's say, you're not the type of person that's open to importing people. And this is this was what I was trying to explain earlier in Game 2 with Chisto. If you're going to look at Acclaim Empire X, they're kind of the micro scale of that wherein they're sticking to an all Ilonggo roster. There's the positive na magkakasama kayo within that region, so it makes for better practice. But by limiting yourself to getting players from a certain location, you miss out on potential talents from elsewhere in the Philippines. Gaya nga ng, if you're gonna look at last bit for AEX, one of the reasons why they were such a strong force was that not only was Awaken an excellent substitute, not necessarily substitution, but an excellent replacement for Calculated, andun din yung superstar nila na si Mirmo, who was such a fantastic addition as far as him in the marksman role, along with Vanguard, who was also their support at the time, who was also from NCR. But now that they have an Ilonggo roster, an all Ilonggo roster, I actually like the idea on paper, but if you can look at performance, it's been hurting them quite a bit. And talking about Mineski now, kumbaga, they knew that whatever opportunities that we can take to have a better roster that could lead to better results, we'll take them. And that's kind of what's showing right now. So that's kind of my take on it. It's a positive in a way.
I have to agree with you on that article. When it comes to Mineski, I believe that they are actually the pioneers when it comes to really bringing new competition, new blood. I mean, really innovating in the sense that we gotta put some imports into the PGS scene to have a healthy growth. I complete with it wholeheartedly, and I want to see that growth influence the rest of the teams. But let's get straight to our third game, last game of our first match. Acclaim Empire X on the blue side versus Infused Esports on the red side. Both teams fighting their hardest to not stay at the bottom two. It's still not yet over.
Yeah, and let's just have to see though which team can keep the dream alive to make it to the playoffs.
They have to resurrect that dream. I mean,
yeah,
bring in the hospital, just resurrect them, shock them, and they have to do everything.
Definitely, and I think that everything starts right now as we head into Game 3, looking at the picks so far. Andun ulit yung priority to get the Scion. Dodoy, in all fairness, has had a very, very shaky start to his debut in the PGS. Pero natuwa ako kanina kasi finally nakita na nagkaroon ng shining moment si Dodoy. He performed so good on that Scion. Looks like AEX gonna stick to their guns, gonna stick to what was effective.
It's actually ridiculous how well the Scion works. And it's actually one of the top champions that's performing really well when it comes to win rate. And the fact that the Arcane Comet, he was running the Arcane Comet, correct? I mean, it's a free hit with this Battle Roar, and there's that slow too. So AEX really sticking to something that worked for them in their game too. Now for Infused, being still sticking. Ooh, what's this? This is actually interesting because Azir and Camille has been picked up. Tyric.
Yeah.
It's now a very powerful teamfight tool.
And if you're going to look at it, this is the same Sivir that we saw Weng pull off the very first pentakill for 2018. So
yes,
I guess
recall.
This is pretty much Infused pulling off all the stops at this point. Wow! Vladimir actually pushed in.
This is actually a treat for all of us here. Looks like Infused will go out with a bang. Same with AEX. Note that for Dodoy, shaky start as you said, but when it came to the point where it matters the most, he has been performing not consistently, but slowly amping up his level.
And both teams, quite interesting compositions that we're seeing here. But of course, I'm wondering how this ultimately translates. Once na makapasok tayo sa Rift. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, with both sides locking in their respective champions for their respective compositions. Let us know kung saan man kayo nanonood, Facebook Live or gaming.youtube.com/pagegarena/live kung sino sa tingin nyo ang magwawagi sa match na to. Very crucial for both sides to keep the dream alive for playoffs. Hashtag AEX win ba or hashtag INF win.
At this point in the 6th week of the PGS, 1 point. Every point counts. Every game, every match matters. And I love how serious the teams are getting as the week progresses. We only have 1 week left. We'll be moving on to the playoff stage where things get a bit heated up and we'll get actually explosive because what the teams are fighting for, guys, it's the slot into the GPL.
And you have to know, this is quite exciting kasi dito natin makikita yung bagong format ng PGS as far as not having 4 but 6 teams going into the playoffs. And I think for ang laking incentive nun in a way na teams, they're not just gonna aim for top 4 anymore. Oh, you want to try to aim for a higher spot, pero at least andun yung advantage, or not necessarily advantage, pero andun yung incentive na even though I don't necessarily make top 4 dahil sa dagdag na 2 slots for 5th and 6th, gives you a bit more of a chance to still make it all the way. But syempre, you still want to aim for a bit of a better spot.
Doesn't everyone want to aim for the better spot? And when it comes to the new format, yes, it's exciting. You know what's more exciting? The new format in the GPL 2018 and beyond for the future of Garena Premier League. I just love how the changes are going to affect the regions. And I think the teams, the players can be a bit more motivated. Because, I mean, Arctic, think of it this way. What the team has been playing for all these years, all this time, the PGS have just been aiming for what? Let's make it to the GPL. Let's try and make it to the 1st or the 2nd seed. Try to show us what we've got.
Yeah.
But where does Philippines always lag behind? We always go to the 3rd or to the 4th. And you know what? What's the reason behind that? Vietnam.
Exactly.
They're a very powerful region, I gotta say.
Of course, you want to try to be ambitious and you want to always try to go for the top seed. But of course, realistically, Vietnam has been such a consistent contender to have almost always secured that 1st seed. And for seasons past. This is the reason why they are being given their own, they are being considered their own region now because of their higher caliber of play in a way. So hopefully, I don't want this to just be yung tipong breathing room, yung something to celebrate as far as having a better chance going into MSI, pero or even Worlds. Kumbaga, I also want to look at this in a way as a challenge for other players na because we've constantly had these different regions. Nung una si Taiwan, nung nalala mo pa ba yung days na kasama sa GPL yung Taipei Assassins, medyo it's looking back. Pero kumbaga, we've seen that growth from Taiwan. Now we're seeing that growth from Vietnam. Hopefully, it's not just looking at it in a way na mas malaki yung chance natin. Hopefully, it's also seen as a challenge na Philippines balang araw, sana tayo rin makapag-step up sa level na yun na we're considered hopefully not just a threat, pero a potential contender in the long run for even bigger things. It's a dream. It's a dream. Oo, a lot of people, I mean, we have a lot of people that criticize that na saying that we're lagging behind. But I think nakikita naman natin yung effort ng teams ngayon. First hand, as casters dito, pag nakita natin yung teams, ang ganda ng growth. So, I'm personally optimistic about the future for Philippine esports.
I'm pretty much hoping for it to the same way I feel for that Arctic. And I think we don't need to hope any longer because I think our prayers will be answered in this 2018 spring split. Who knows? I love the teams. We're seeing top 2 teams right now. Who to look out for? Mineski and TNC Pro Team. They've shown them what they've got, and the fact that they're in the top 2 spots. Not anymore that you want to look out for the top 4 spots.
Yeah.
With the old format, you want to look out for the new format, the top 2 spots, where I would say it's a great honor.
And I think what I like about this particular split is gone are the days na inisip ko, oh, I hope this team makes it. Para mas magkaroon tayo ng magandang chance sa GPL to potentially make it to MSI or Worlds. Nasa point na tayo na we have a lot of teams that could that you could honestly say na we'd be confident in sending in. Hindi lang yung, okay, sana si Mineski yung manalo or sana si TME yung manalo in the past. Nalala mo yung mga times na yun na, hopefully sila yung manalo kasi sila yung mas may chance. Right now, looking at how the teams have been performing, some who I could honestly say would probably make a good contender to GPL. May mga iba naman, yung mga nasa lower part, probably not right now, but nakikita ko yung potential growth to eventually reach that point.
And let's all see that growth, all the work that the players have put into the Rift. This is going to be the 3rd game of Match 1. Infused Esports versus Acclaim Empire X.
And there you have it, folks. This is the point right here. Let's not talk about the potential future. It's the present here, right now. Game 3, Acclaim Empire X versus Infused Esports. Who is going to keep their dream alive to potentially make playoffs? Malalaman natin yan as we head on to the Rift.
If you know the future, you can work right now in the present towards it. And for these teams, I'm seeing right now Infused, they want to make it to the playoff stage. But why stop there? They can always grow more. They will have the room, they will have the time. But for AEX, really, really rough shakeup when it comes to roster. And we need players to step up.
Man, oh man. Meanwhile, looks like both sides, nakita natin yung aggression in a way from both teams to kind of make a maneuver sa first few minutes ng game. We try to go for cheeky invades, whatnot. Pero I think with us heading into a game 3, with things tied 1-1 right now, both sides andun na sila sa punto na they don't want to risk anything anymore. They want to try to be as calculated as possible. They don't want to take any more chances. Very, very crucial win for either side here.
You know what I loved about in game 2? The fact that for the... Is it? I don't think it's the first time we're ever seeing a Scion, yes, but when it comes to the fact that it's running the Comet, it works really well because the Roar, the E, lowers the armor, and then the Arcane Comet hits. That's a really ridiculous harass. And the fact that we're seeing this on Dodoy, I wonder how Infused can really remedy it because we're seeing a Vladimir, which is somehow remedy towards, or at least a control. He can at least sustain himself.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very chill lane that we're seeing here towards the top side. Unless makakita tayo ng proactivity as far as ganks na magaling kay Tamsu o kaya kay Hechizo. But other than that, I think it's just gonna be chill, just generally by the nature of Dodoy in himself. Quite tanky on the side, not to mention Gertrude. I mean, it's Vladimir pretty much. The sustain is gonna be there throughout the entire laning phase. Whatever folks come in, just gonna heal that up.
And we're seeing that Gertrude, yes, is running the unsealed spellbook and has the minion materializers. So you know what's gonna happen when the late game approaches. We all know what's gonna happen for this Vladimir, and Infused, they have to bank on this Vlad. But why stop there? Isaac has been, I think he's been shaking off the jitters. He's now on this Azir. I want to see him perform on this Azir.
Yeah, I would love to see what Infused Esports does once they hit yung later part ng game natin. I mean, we do see Queng on the Sivir would make for quite the excellent clear.
They all have actually stalling champions. Sylvia, Vladimir, they can really wait out for the late game.
They have all the potential to hold their ground with this composition. I'm wondering if this is kind of a move to remedy what happened earlier, wherein once AEX started pulling ahead, medyo nabibitin na sila as far as clearing whatever comes onto them. But we'll just have to see, though. I think for either side here, they really want to hold their ground. They don't really want to fall too behind, given the nature of both sides' composition.
They have excellent wave clear. So for Infused, they can really hold things up. But for AEX, they can just go hard in. I mean, that Sion, the Shyvana, plus the Alistar is there to really remove the safety. Just like that. Go in hard. So the Tyric will try and stop it. Ignites onto Queng, tanking just a bit. And that's just going to be a trade-off for a Summoner Bird.
Yes, all good here. Queng, medyo kailangan niyang hinay-hinay. Does not want to potentially concur combo coming in from Korosu that could be quite deadly. Pero yung salvation dito para kay Queng, wala pa siyang nagamit ng summer spell. Si Sachi lang ata.
Flash pulverized, and that might be the first blood. Yes, it is.
Man, oh man, that was so fast coming in from Gen V and Korosu. That was
blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye, indeed. But meanwhile, it's like
here comes Hechizo. Wants to get some payback, but Tamsu will go in for the counter. Look at the damage dealt by Gen V.
But look at that, Tamsu already within the vicinity to try to help out Gen V and Korosu here. Did not suffer casualty themselves. And pretty good start here for AEX overall. Queng was definitely caught off guard there. Wasn't given the opportunity. Sinasabi ko na Korosu getting that full combo in along with the damage from Gen V was able to get the heal, but not the flash out for safety.
Isn't that a bit of a surprise? They're seeing a Shyvana counter gank, let's say Camille. At this point, just want to farm, but look at Doroy. He's in big trouble. That's yellow. Will turn red, goes onto the pull. He does deny the damage. Ignite is there, and he gets the kill.
Yeah, we've been talking about how Dodoy here, later on in the game, will probably gear towards a little bit of a tankier Sion once again, pero until such time he reaches that point, medyo vulnerable pa siya going up against Gertrude here on this Vladimir. And yan yung sinasabi ko na whatever damage Dodoy tries to deal in exchange, ihihil lang yan ni Gertrude. So, tingnan natin if is this gonna be a scenario wherein AEX is just gonna let Dodoy be until such time na mas magkaroon siya ng impact into the later parts of the game, or makakakita ba tayo ng proactivity from Tamsu to help alleviate that in a way? Kasi one of the reasons I feel that Dodoy was able to at least try to stay on neutral ground with Gertrude noong game 2, aside from the fact that Gertrude was running a gangplank, kaya talagang naka-build up siya through the kleptomancy, Dodoy himself had an excellent KDA in the earlier phases, which helps balance that out. So tingnan natin, because at this point, Dodoy, he's not quite in the position he was in game 2 na had a better KDA. He does have that death on him now, so ideally, you don't really want to see him concur as much so that kahit pa paano, magkaroon siya ng space to start building up on items.
Again, he does have the safety to push the lanes with his E, yes, but it's the fact that this Vladimir, Gertrude is just going to keep harassing him, and he can do that for days. He does not have a resource, so okay, you can keep trading me, I'm just going to regenerate my health.
Yeah, just pretty much a heal fest here for Gertrude. And tingnan mo yung respect ni Dodo in a way, keeping distance.
Oh, the divide did not connect thanks to the stopwatch. The dazzle, no, not going to connect too. And everyone's here. That's going to be Tamsu connecting, going for the divide. And there's the unstoppable force. And Dodoy comes in from the top, intervenes to the mid.
Ooh, AEX, beautiful collapse right there in response to all the aggression from Infused Esports. Sobrang sayang kasi hindi na-connect yung stun ni Sachi onto Awaken, which could have resulted in a virtual death. But
You gotta dive that. Oh, hello, I'm here too. Dodo is here. He's going to chase. And he pops the heal. He gets a bit slow, but there's the blast code for the... Science just too big, so I think Isaac survives that.
yeah, that was quite the escape right there. But overall, andun pa rin yung value sa AEX. A 2 for... right there. So...
Straight off, it was more of a 2 for 1, yeah.
Oh, 2 for 1, yeah. But, man, that was such a shame. It could have been better for Infuse had they been able to take down Awaken right off the bat by connecting that stun. Sobrang crucial ng season na yun, and it ultimately changed the tide right there. It could have been better for Infuse.
And for Dodo to actually come from the top to the mid, that's what I love to see. I mean, he's running aside when an ultimate that has semi-global presence, and look at the river. It's a straight line, so why not go for the fast response?
Yeah, choo-choo train right there for Dodo. And yeah, and I really love... That's been a constant for him. Yun yung sinasabi ko na, he might have a bit of a trickier time in lane, but he makes up for it by what presence he brings through other ways, such as responses, such as what value yung nadadala niya sa mga smaller fights to even bigger clashes.
And it won't be long enough that when Dodo can actually sustain himself, he will build up his passive, the health, get that, and forcing out a flash from Quay. He's on Ignite, so he will survive. They're going for a trade, but Infuse will not commit to that fight.
They're just gonna try to hold their ground here. Meanwhile, Genvi just so confident in getting two hits here.
Gets the hit on the Haunt has been popped, so I wonder why they're just going for some mobility, and they really don't want to fight when it comes to the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're gonna make that comparison with much good reason, Genvi already has that PF sword. Meanwhile, Weng, medyo dahil sa onting, how do I put it? A little bit of a small setback kanina. We'll have to consent with just a long sword.
Interesting. We're seeing invasion, home invasion from AEX, and they can't respond. They're really respecting that Alistar. They can go for a dive, but Caroso's not level 6. He will just zone out the duo.
Yeah, upon knowing that Tamsu was within the vicinity, nag-start nang mag-scatter tong Infused Esports. Gonna try to rendezvous with Hechizo. And meanwhile, this is looking quite interesting for Dodo here because he's slowly building up on that magic resist.
Oh my god, that damage. And sayang naman, wala siyang Arcane Karma. If he had Arcane Karma for the extra damage, I think that would have made Gertrude a bit scared, but that's a Vladimir. He will just regenerate himself slowly.
Yeah, but Dodo, he's starting to hold his own. That magic resist build up right there. The more that he starts capitalizing on that, the more that he'll be able to just suck up whatever damage comes in from Gertrude. And nakikita natin, may proactive move ng AEX dito to take that first break of the game. Pero may vision ng Infuse dito.
I don't think they can commit because we're seeing Hechizo is recalling and they will not contest this Mountain Drake.
Not bad hero claim Empire Rex. A little bit extra damage there onto objectives in the midst of sieging. And so far, looking pretty good as far as where we stand right now. 3-1, not to mention 1,500 of a deficit. Not that big just yet, but magandang startup to para ito sa AEX.
Definitely, because they got them on the Drake. They can now push this and potentially get the first turret of the game.
And finally, we're seeing interesting rotations here coming in from Tamsu. First turret of the game indeed. And a bit of a question mark for me here is, where was this proactivity from AEX these past few weeks? I felt like if they played a little bit more better than they are right now, these past few weeks, then could have been better. Although, I guess it's not too late for AEX. It's just that a little bit more of a clutch, but at least it's refreshing to see that kahit paano, may step up na tayo nakikita.
Like we said, growth is important. And note that AEX, they do have a tendency to always start slow. We did see this from quite some time in the run for the PGS. And they are no strangers to pressure. They handle it so well, they'll just quickly adjust to it and will try their best to bounce back. That's AEX for you.
Todoy kind of lingering there in the brush. Queng and Sachi,
Can he go for it though?
nag-proactive move na sila dito na mag-transition sa top side with that turret down, but numbers quite
Here
aren't
it comes.
in their advantage.
Let me go for a drift. Okay, here comes Kurosu. Ooh, dodges that stun. Oh, he does pop his ult.
Yes, that will be an ult down for Kurosu. Teleport coming in from Dodoy to make sure that he manages this wave coming in from Virtue right here, and they can see Hechizo.
That's bad. Ah, he can't get away. Oh, but the ultimatum reaches, so he cannot escape. That is a well played by Hechizo.
Man, great connect there coming in from the members of Infused Esports. 3 members. In fact, unfortunately, they won't be able to go full aggro to take down this turret. Wala pang wave na punta sa kanila, and that will result to Isaac needing to respond to that wave pushing in the mid lane. And not to mention, dito rin sa top lane, ito-push na rin itong tatlong miyembro ng AEX. Again, a great rotation coming in.
And I think AEX respects the comp from Infused. They don't want to delay this any longer. They know that there's a Vladimir and a Nazir. Plus, a Sivir can really delay the game for them. They're trying their best to get that pressure. Right now, we're seeing them take this Rift Herald. Possibly uncontested again. Yeah, I don't think Hechizo can reach this one, but maybe Sachi and Queng can buy some time. On the hunt, Flash Star will not connect. Here comes Hechizo. Here comes the Radiance for the protection, but it will be AEX kiting out of the fight, but still Queng manages to take down Tamzu.
Yes, that one kill, a little bit of a consolation there for Infused, but amidst that, take note, nakuha pa rin ng AEX yung Rift Herald. So, ito yung paulit-ulit na namin sinasabi na tingnan natin kung anong value ang kayang makuha ng AEX once they do decide to utilize that Rift Herald.
At least Infused, they're challenging AEX. They're not letting them have their way just like that, because we sometimes see when Infused does not have a good start, they tend to be very passive. We've seen this in the last week's performance, but now I just love how Infused, they're being more proactive. They're being more decisive in their execution.
Yeah, I think that's what they really need to be doing right now. They don't want to be in that position na mas mahirapan silang mag-transition into the later parts of the game. And I think they're realizing that right now with AEX taking no prisoners whatsoever within these first 10 minutes. Nakita naman natin, sobrang proactive ng rotations ni Tamsu thus far, taking turrets down one by one. And nandito na nga tayo sa point na na-peel off lahat ng outer turrets ng Infused Esports. Lahat ng tier 1 turrets nila. So, I like the fact that they're starting to at least make sure that they contend with AEX, but then again, the ball is on AEX right now as far as the build-up.
And the only turret that stands in their way is this mid lane, because seeing how for Isaac, we did stress that he has what it takes to become a star player for Infused. He has the mechanics, he's very skilled. He just lacks that mentality, the preparation, not to mention the jitters that he experiences when it comes to playing in the TGS. And that's something that you gotta shake off quickly, and I hope he does it in this game, because this is their last chance to get one more point, and AEX will summon the Herald.
Yes, this will be the siege for AEX right now. Hindi natin itutuloy kaya nito hanggang second tier.
Oh boy, Hechizo does not want Tamzu to have his way. Stun! Yes, it does connect, but Tamzu manages to escape with the Dragon's Ascent. That's gonna burn that ultimate for Hechizo. He did also burn his ultimate, so it's more of a trade-off here in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's that Todoy casually making his way into that mid lane there. Doesn't quite get the connect onto Infused, but good on Infused right here. Was able to hold off the second tier turret here in the mid lane from getting taken by AEX. So, ground well held.
They can hold their ground. They have the wave clear. But for AEX, they have the superior engage. And what can Infuse counter that? They have what? The Taric, the Cosmic Radiance. That tool itself will be their safeguard. And for AEX, I think they'll try and bait it out. We did see that on the blue side of the map of AEX, they were able to kite out of that fight.
Pero you also have to take note that amidst the initiation from AEX, aside from the Taric to hold their ground for Infused Esports, andun din yung elements like Isaac's ultimate, okay, a little bit of a hit right there. But yeah, the ultimate coming in from Isaac to at least shove away members of AEX whenever they do make that proactive move to go in. If all else fails, andun din yung isolation ni Hechizo, so the Hextech Ultimatum to kind of hold off whatever member of AEX they could either try to keep at bay or try to pick off as well.
Ooh, look at the goal in favor of Awaken. 6,000, almost 6,200 to the Azir for Isaac, 5,000. That is hard. Not to mention, at least for Gertrude, he does have a good lead in gold. He can still make up for the lack of AP damage. And this Vladimir will be a huge threat and a huge asset for Infuse. They can further delay the game so that Isaac can bounce back in items, because when we reach the equilibrium of the game, the gold leads will not matter. It's all on pure, raw execution.
Indeed. I'd have to agree with you there, Vulcan. But, man, I gotta give it to Gertrude, though. So far, I've been liking his consistency these past few weeks. He's been quite the performer for Infused Esports. Gaya nga ng sinasabi ni, I believe it was Chisto earlier, si Isaac medyo slow start siya sa PGS. Recently has been showing a bit more of the reason why he was quite the respected mid laner nung semi-pro days niya. So, hopefully, we'll just have to see, looking at this bot lane though, Gertrude.
Goes under the pool, he couldn't. He got stunned. Wait. Dodoy will push on Gertrude. He can't escape. That Arcane Comet is doing so much damage.
Man. And naalala mo kanina, ito yung sinasabi ko na within the first few minutes within the laning phase, sure, Gertrude does have that advantage since Dodoy doesn't have the items yet to withstand whatever Gertrude throws out. Pero dahil may Abyssal Mask na nga siya with that magic resist to withstand that, Gertrude, it's a bit of a reverse position that he's in right now, wherein he has to try to last out whatever Dodoy throws at him in exchange.
And not to mention my god, that harass is just ridiculous. The Abyssal Mask, yes, he does have the MR, but I just love what he gets out of the passive. I mean, Catalyst plus extra magic damage, that's something that he can sustain himself in lane and also push the lanes harder. And he does not care about the turrets. Okay, Gertrude, you're in trouble. Oh, that was a close call. He's not coming. Oh, he misses! And that's going to be one more hit. Yes, Awaken snipes Gertrude.
Yes, Gertrude, unfortunately exhausting his flash. But still, with that force shot coming in from Awaken, this does allow AEX to get the shove in towards the ball lane. Take note, tingnan mo yung position ng members ng Infuse. Lahat sila halos nasa top side. Kaya everybody was banking on the fact that mahold ni Gertrude tong shove out dito sa bot lane. But fortunately, it gets assassinated, and that will be another turret para dito sa Claim Empire X.
They can still bounce back. Great flash. Respawns though. And for Hedges though, he's trying to make some room. Isaac. That's there we go. Shifts in. Unbreakable is up. He's not going to survive here, but he does headbutt away Isaac. But just to buy him some time, he does flash away. Pops the stopwatch, and Dodoy will just watch his teammate die.
Yes. Looks like Kurosu will be the sacrifice.
He wants to give the kill to Isaac, but oh, come on. He's a stubborn bull. He doesn't want to die.
Got it. Oh, looks like Hedgeso does have to take the kill for himself, pero it's a top side.
That's dangerous. That's a lot of feathers stacked up. Dragon's Set, will it buy time? Yes, and just in time. And a trade-off in turret hits for Genvi.
Genvi, medyo na maraming turret shots sa kanya, but still, he's just fine.
He has the red buff. He can just regenerate himself. He can stay in lane.
He'll be fine. Pretty much fine, but still, amidst that, stay pa rin tong AEX to try to get this second tier turret. I really like the proactivity coming in from AEX. Hindi nila binibigyan ng room in Infused Esports na para makahinga para.
Ooh, what a hard engage. And again, he gets denied of that escape. But still, Hechiso gets immediately denied with that Cyan Q. And I gotta say, for AEX, they're doing so well when it comes to Infuse. They're reacting so well. I mean, Infuse is throwing things at them, and AEX will just stand their ground.
Yes, and this is what I love about AEX. They're really using this moment of proactivity to take advantage of Infuse Esports being a bit behind from making their optimal spikes. And very gutsy move right here. They are going for Baron Nashor.
Note that Tamsu, he's quite low here, and Dodo is just buying time. Hechiso, can he go for the steal? Immediately gets sniped by Awaken. That's going to be the Baron for a Claim Empire X.
Yes, indeed. And take note, all 5 members. Are they going to go in potentially? Mukhang hinay muna sila Dodoy. Giving a little bit of a dance. Ultimate disrespect right there. But very well played by AX overall.
Break dance and the Baron pit, but well played by Claim Empire X. I mean, the timing, the coordination from Awaken, snipe with a Zareth immediately removes the 50-50 chance, makes it 100-0. If
Man.
okay, 99 to 1. Because there's always that small chance, there's always that mischief that let's say the smite was a bit late. But knowing these guys, pros, they will not miss a smite.
Yeah, and it's just such a shame for Infused Esports because AEX has been holding it down these past few minutes.
But
Like I
they can
mentioned,
still do it.
yeah, and they're still pretty much going strong. And ito yung sinasabi ko, natingin mo yung KDA ni Dodoy, 0-2-3, but doesn't really matter. As long as what he does in the mid part of the game, once we do hit past that laning phase, he just becomes this massive, beefy tank that also deals quite a sizable amount of damage onto Gertrude as well.
Yes, that's very true. And for Dodoy, he's showing a bit of confidence in the bot lane. But what I want to know is when will Infuse bounce back here? Because time right now is 22 minutes into the game, guys. Kill score 5-4. Turret score 5-0. That is harsh. And a goal lead of 8,000 so far. This is the last game. 1 point is at stake here.
I think the tricky part here for Infused Esports is they want to try to hold their ground for as long as possible, but with the proactivity coming in from AEX, baka hindi sila mabigyan ng chance na yun.
They can do it. They have to wait here, but they have the option to back up, and AEX have the option to zone them out. Radiance incoming. Will it be enough? They buy some time. There is the Featherstorm, and then Hedgehog locks down again. Dodoy, but in the end, AEX fights back under the turret.
Oh man, is this potentially going to be the game though? Gertrude, the only surviving member. Medyo mabigat rin yung mga death timers nitong Infused Esports. Ang laking value ng kayang makuha ng AEX dito. Could they go for the finish though? That's a big question.
The challenge, I mean for AEX, they accept the challenge from Infused. They wanted to stop the bleeding, but in the end, the fact that they have to rely on scaling in late game is really putting the hurt in them.
Yes, looks like Sachi is about to go online. So is Hechizo. Can they try to salvage this?
They can still try. Look at Gertrude buying some time. He is still alive. This is not yet over. Hechizo is there. He's trying to buy time. And look at Jemmy attacking some turret heads. He as might as well get executed. No, but Dodoy gets left behind.
Yes, admits everything.
Hechizo stasis. Look at that. He's not going to go anywhere. Shut him down.
Man, great. Small of a salvation right there for Infused Esports, but at what cost? Tignan mo yung value na nakuha ng AEX amidst that shove. They were able to get an inhibitor, not to mention at least one Nexus turret, which is quite the ground to work with. It is also somewhat okay for Infused as well because they were able to hold their ground. Whether or not andun na sila sa punto na ma-maximize yung composition nila, still quite a number of minutes that they need to try to last out before they reach that. Let's go ahead and check out that replay though.
Break it down for us.
So, with Infused Esports, Cosmic Radiance being popped up here by Sachi, and then amidst that though, Hechizo goes for the Hextech ultimatum onto Dodoy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But immediate has to start drawing away. Look at how clumped Infused Esports was. That was pretty much a position wherein they were asking for it from AEX, and it just made easier damage for AEX from there on out. So that's kind of what Infused Esports wants to avoid. Like I mentioned, medyo breathing room nga to na nasalba nila yung game. AEX was not able to finish yet, but Infused, they kind of need to continue to stand their ground within these next few minutes to try to reach that time when they could have a much more efficient clear through flank.
Let's check out the items, Arctic. I mean, we're seeing 2 items completed onto Isaac's side, but we're seeing for Awaken, he has 3 items locked in on his list, and judging by the gold lead, it's actually going to be very difficult. And I think Gertrude will be the only one trying to buy time. He's the most fed member here. Not to mention, Hechizo has been using the ultimatum just to lock down that Sion for Dodoy not to escape. But has he been using the ultimate to really just chunk down the high priority targets?
I don't know, man. So far, looks like AEX though. We're seeing the proactivity from them. They're continuing to shove out lane. Medyo limited rin pa rin tong Infused Esports as far as just pretty much staying out in lane. And we still have quite a bit of a long way to go before that next Baron is up. Okay, 2 minutes actually, in fact, less than. So let's go ahead and say though, I think with the proactivity from AEX, sila ang medyo mas may reach as far as yung control dito sa Baron side. Pero tingnan natin kung anong gagawin ng Infused Esports.
Can still try and bounce back, but I always say it, bouncing back like a ping pong ball. But when it comes to not waiting, AEX, they're impatient. They want to end the game right now. Secure that point. Helper coming in. Dodoy is on the scene.
Yes, this turret.
Here comes last chance for Infuse to make use of that radius. Will this be their line? There's the stun onto the Alistar. But look at Dota going in for a 2-man stun. And Jevich chunks down Sachi.
Oh man, 4 members still alive and kicking for Acclaim Empire X. Gertrude, Isaac, Wang, 3 key carries. Will try to hold the
still
fort.
alive. Gertrude going in, closing in, focusing onto Genvi. Take him down, yes! Gertrude takes down Genvi, while Isaac takes down Hirosu. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, looks like Awaken is just pushing the lanes hard.
Yes, unfortunately for Acclaim Empire X, the 2 targets that they did manage to take down were Sachi and Hedges. Not really the optimal ones, considering yung sakit ng damage na kayang i-dish out ni Gertrude, ni Isaac, ni Quang. So, not quite the optimal early takedowns right there for AEX. And like I've been mentioning, this is the room that Infuse Esports needs to try to salvage this game, to reach those spikes wherein they could continue to hold the fort for themselves.
Kaya pa to. Kaya pa ni Infuse to. Kasi look at the scaling for this Infuse side and look at the items. They're slowly building up. And don't look at the kill score because that's very misleading. Note that the turret score is 9-0. Yes, they're holding on. The next Drake is Infernal. But I think if ever Infuse does not really try and contest this Baron, it's an all or nothing thing when it comes to the Baron. One mistake can really change everything.
I think the great thing here for Infuse is that so long as they
they're going for it. They need to do this because give up that Baron and AEX will just continue to push them to their walls.
This is probably one of those Barons that AEX really needs to try to maximize if they could take it. Because, like I mentioned, these next few minutes, within the next 10 minutes, Infuse Esports could probably look pretty good. Oh no!
Gets spotted out, pushed back. Sachi gets picked off.
Could that be the nail in the coffin for Infuse Esports?
Look
though?
at the damage from the Zera.
That was such a crucial member that Infuse Esports lost out on. And with that, Acclaim Empire X mukhang magiging clean take to with this Baron Nashor on their side. Losing out on Cosmic Radiance is such
big.
It's massive, man. It's such a shame. Let's go ahead and see, though. Ito yung sinasabi ko, Acclaim Empire X. They could get, this is probably the optimal Baron that they want. They cannot afford to wait out this game a bit longer. The time is right now for them. And with Sachi down, that was pretty that's a pretty massive positive for Acclaim Empire X.
But he's back up right now. He will make it in time. The inhibitor will spawn in the top lane side. AEX will just back away. I don't think they want to risk anything more. They know they are respecting that. Okay, Sachi's here. They have the Radiance. They can deny so much damage from us. So let's go for a reset, bounce back, and maybe get the other objectives. We're seeing the Inferno being spawned in 1 minute and 35 seconds.
You know, it looks like Dodoy right here. He is in this bot lane, continuing to get this shoved in. So ito na nga yung position ng AX na since they have Baron buff, they're gonna be pressuring across lanes here. So this is pretty good for them. It does push Infuse Esports in a position wherein they have to designate particular members to deal with certain lanes. At dahil dito, mas lalong magkakaroon ng control yung Acclaim Empire X. And it just limits Infuse Esports once again.
I really want to see a clash where Infuse is just giving it their all, while AEX, bad start, right? Bad split. They want to shake things off. 6 weeks, no more time, no more room for the small mistakes, and they're trying their best to get most of the points, but the standings are just so difficult for them. But right now, here it comes. The inhibitor. The last stand for Infuse. If they do not make it, Gertrude goes in for the flag. Enemy for Genevieve. Here it comes. Hedges are locking down Awaken. He's not going anywhere, but immediately gets chopped down. The Divine is there to zone them out. Dodo, though, in the scene, deep in the base, zoning out the members. Right now, Infuse, they're just scrambled around. And for AEX, picking off them one by one.
Indeed, ladies and gents, this is quite the interesting game right here. A mini reverse sweep, if you will, as the pride of Iloilo still keeps the dream alive to potentially make it to playoffs as they end this match 2-1. Hashtag AEX win. GG, well played.
GG, well played for Acclaim Empire X for that reverse sweep, but also for Infuse Esports. They did manage to get 1 point. Still, in the end, the winner of our first match is Acclaim Empire X.
That was a pretty interesting conclusion to this match right here. And gaya nga ng sinasabi ko, it was so crucial because whoever comes off with that one extra point gives themselves a little bit more breathing room to try to salvage the playoffs going into the succeeding week. In Fuse Esports, they try to hold their own right there. Pero ito yung sinasabi ko na as long as Acclaim Empire X, they boost proactivity, they keep up the rotations earlier on to pressure Infuse. At the end of the day, it pretty much worked out for them. And with that, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, diba, na Dodoy, he didn't have the best start to the BGS, but imagine that right now with that performance. I'm happy to say that finally paid off for him, as he does end up our overall MVP for the match.
So the MVP for this first match is Dodo. You see it of the game, player of the game. So again, Acclaim Empire X AEX, congratulations for winning the match 1, ending it with a 2-1. And for Infuse Esports, they still managed to get 1 point. We'll see what they can do. But when it comes to the last weeks left in the PGS, things look really difficult for the bottom 4 teams. They need to get at least all the points they can. And this is it for their match 1. And what's coming up next? It's going to be match 2 in Mineski versus Naga Esports. I'm pretty sure people are out there waiting for it. Summoners are hyped for that match. And we hope to see you. Stay tuned after the short break. We have been the Shoutcasters. My name is Vulcan. With me is Arctic. See you after the short break for the continuation of the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split.
AEX, baka hindi sila mabigyan ng chance na yun.
They do it. They need to wait for you, but they have the option to back. Fights back under the turret.
Oh man, is this potentially going to be the game though? Gertrude, the only surviving member.
There, he's trying to buy time. And look at Jemmy attacking some turret fence. He has managed to execute. No, but Dodo gets left behind.
Yes, let's miss everything.
Tizo stays safe. Look at that. He's not going to go anywhere. Shut this turret. Here comes last chance for Infuse to make use of that radius. Will this be their line? There's the stun onto the Alistar. But look at Dodo going in for a 2-man stun. And Jemmy chunks down Sachi.
Oh man, 4 members still alive and kicking for Acclaim Empire X. Gertrude, Isaac playing 3 key carries. We'll try to hold the fort
alive. Gertrude going in, closing in, focusing onto Jemmy. Take him down, yes! Gertrude takes down Jemmy. What the inhibitor? The last stand for Infuse. If they do not make it in, Gertrude goes in for the flag. Aiming for Jemmy. Here it comes. Catches a locking down Awaken. He's not going anywhere, but immediately gets chopped down. The Divine is there to zone them out. Dodo, though, in the scene, deep in the base, zoning out the members. Right now, Infuse, they're just scrambled around. And for AEX, picking off them one by one.
Indeed, ladies and gents, this is quite the interesting game right here. A mini reverse sweep, if you will, as the pride of Iloilo still keeps the dream alive to potentially make it to playoffs as they end this match 2-1. Hashtag AEX win. GG, well played.
GG, well played for Acclaim Empire X for that reverse sweep, but also for Infused Esports. They